Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well. My name is Dinara Sulfiana with last student number 052, and today I would like to share my critical review titled The Use of Board Game to Enhance English Language Learning Skills. So, what is a board games? Board games are games played on a table using a board, dice, or cards, and each player follows certain rules. These games are designed to be enjoyable and usually involve cooperation, friendly competition, and problem solving. In the context of education, especially in English language learning, board games can play an important role. They make the learning process more interesting and interactive, so students become more active and enthusiastic. Instead of simply listening and memorizing, students learn by participating and engaging in fun classroom activities. When used in English classes, board game allows students to practice grammar, build vocabulary, and improve their speaking skill in a meaningful and enjoyable way. In other words, board game transform traditional learning into a more dynamic and engaging experience, where students learn without feeling pressure and are more motivated to participate. Okay, now I will summarize the three journals I reviewed. Okay, so the first study by Montufar Zavala 2024 examined the effect of board games on grammar learning in junior high school students. Two groups were compared. One used a grammar board game and one used traditional method. The results showed that the board game group achieved better grammar improvement and felt more motivated because they learned through interaction and play instead of only listening. Okay, the second study was a systematic review of 10 previous studies on vocabulary learning. The review found that board game effectively improves student vocabulary from elementary to secondary school. This is because board game allows students to practice and repeat vocabulary naturally and enjoyably. And the competitive element helps them remember words more easily. Okay, and the third study by David 2021 used a qualitative method and focused on speaking skill, especially descriptive text. Students learn vocabulary, followed camp rules, work in group, and receive feedback. The findings showed that board game made students more active, confident, and motivated to speak, and created a more lively and enjoyable classroom atmosphere. So overall, all their studies show that board camp improve English learning by making the learning process more interactive, motivating, and meaningful. Okay, the next slide is analysis of argument. All three journals saw a consistent perspective about the use of board games in English learning. They all agree that board games are effective tools because they increase students' engagement and improve learning outcomes. In other words, students become more active, more motivated, and more involved in the learning process when they learn through games. Each study focused on a different English skill, grammar, vocabulary, and speaking. But the results support the same conclusion. The grammar study uses measurable test results, showing clear improvement in students' grammar performance. The vocabulary review connect findings from multiple previous studies, proving that the effectiveness of board game is a consist across different levels of education. Meanwhile, the speaking study uses direct classroom observation to show how board game helps students become more confident and willing to speak. Even though the method and focus are different, they actually strengthen each other. Together, they show that board games are not only fun, but also meaningful and flexible learning tools that can be applied to various English skills. So, overall, the argument from these studies are logical and complementary, giving a strong picture that board games truly support effective and enjoyable English learning. So the next slide is evaluation. Overall, these studies clearly show that board games have a positive impact on English learning. They provide strong evidence through different research methods, including qualitative, and systematic review approaches. This variety of methods gave us a more complete understanding of the benefit of using board game in the classroom. For example, the grammar study used pre-test and post-test, which strengthens the validity of the findings, while the speaking study uses classroom observation to show how students interact and respond during the learning process. Meanwhile, the vocabulary study analyzed multiple previous studies, making the result more reliable and consistent. However, even though the findings are promising, there are some limitations that need to be considered. Most of the studies were conducted within a short period of time and with a relatively small number of participants. Because of this, the result may not fully represent larger population. In addition, there is still a lack of research that investigate the long-term effect of board game on students' language development. Even so, these studies still provide valuable insight for teachers and educators. They show that with proper planning and thoughtful implementation, board game can be a powerful tool to create active, enjoyable, and meaningful learning experiences. Therefore, board game remain a promising method to support continuous improvement in students' English language skills. Last point, in my opinion, board games are very beneficial in the classroom because they successfully combine learning with play. This approach helps students feel more enthusiastic and comfortable while learning English. They can express themselves freely and participate actively without feeling stress and pressure. Board games also offer meaningful opportunities for students to communicate and think critically while using English. Based on the three studies I reviewed, it is clear that board games are not only effective in improving grammar, vocabulary, and speaking skill, but they also help build students' confidence and motivation to learn. So, I think that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.